Are we ready?
We're ready.
All right. Dad jeans. Dad jeans.
Why do you have that tape on your nose? Exactly.
The Wilson brothers, I think Luke is an underrated Wilson.
He is an underrated Wilson.
I think he's often quite good. He's samey.
Mm-hmm.
He's got one thing he does.
He is one thing.
But Owen Wilson just has kind of one thing he does too. But he's just so charming. How can you not love him?
Wait. Oh, wait.
How
which
can you
one's
not
which?
love him?
Which one's the blonde one?
Owen
With the
Wilson.
penis for a nose?
That's Owen Wilson.
Owen Wilson. Great. Totally lovely. He, as a gray-haired man, is in some Disney Plus thing where he's in an elevator with one of the Marvel whoever's.
Oh, yeah?
And it plays before whatever the hell you're trying to
Why are
watch.
you dressed like that?
Exactly. And I must say, looking at him, I felt just comforted.
Yeah.
Like just by his very comportment, his presence, his voice and everything. I was like, I would watch that just to spend time with this guy.
Yeah. He seems likable.
Just a genuine, likable American.
Then he tried to kill himself, right?
God, yeah.
What a strange story.
Oh, it breaks my heart that to be Luke Wilson would feel so painful. And this is years ago, so perhaps that's an episode that's long over.
Maybe he had a bad night.
Matt had a bad night.
Who amongst us hasn't?
In this town, Jeff, there's
town.
some strange shit that happens. You saw that movie Shortcuts.
I did. I'm actually halfway through a rewatch right now and have been for the past 4 months.
That's how long it takes usually.
Fucking movie.
It's a long movie. That's not actually Huey Lewis's penis.
It's a prosthetic.
Yeah.
Why do they do that, man?
So that he can pee on command.
Just show the guy's penis.
I know. I would agree with you. Huey would agree with you.
Yeah.
Huey, my fellow Meneer sufferer.
Oh, right. Yeah, exactly.
However, I think because he has to do several takes.
Right.
And have a full
that makes
bladder.
sense. If you're you can't do multiple takes of a piss scene.
And that was an arc like I've never seen. Did I ever tell you about my friend Patrick from high school?
And his peen?
His
penis?
pee arc, his like supernatural pee arc, like I've never seen in my life.
I don't know if I want to talk about this, Brendan.
One day we cut school.
Okay.
And I took him, we got on the commuter rail and we went to Stoughton, which is the town outside of Boston where my commune was.
Let me just say that every town you mention is actually a Simpsons town. I feel like every week you're like, last week you were talking about going to Brockton to see Goonies.
Yeah, which is next to Stoughton.
Next week you're going to go to Ogdenville and see the new railway, the new
Springfield
monorail.
is actually the one in Massachusetts.
Yeah, yes.
It turns out.
Okay.
And what should befall us? But we're walking around, and at one point, I'm just like, this is where I grew up. We were best friends for a brief period.
Yeah,
I ran through a cycle of best friends in high school.
Yeah, well, but you were a narcissist. We've talked about this.
Look, anyone
you
from
just
high
got
school,
done with people, and
I
you're
am
like, I'm
so
done with
sorry.
you.
I know, I was just thoroughly done with it. It was awful. I was a terrible person for so long, Jeff. But the good news is now I sit by myself in my garage, and I feel bad.
You can't harm anyone. You feel bad, and the only person you're harming is our listeners with your poor advice.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Pat and I are like, I gotta drop trowel, I gotta pee, and I was like, we both sort of had to pee at the same time. We were walking in the woods.
Yeah.
And so we faced in opposite directions back to back and started peeing.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard what sounded like a waterfall, like an actual like loud. So I turn, and not only I don't even know where to begin to describe this thing. Pat was an interesting young man.
Well, you're not going to tell me about his penis, are you?
No, I didn't see his penis. That's the whole thing of this. Like,
I see.
what the fuck does this guy's penis look like if he can do this?
Okay.
Because he was maybe 5'3", a little corpulent. He was probably like 200 pounds, 5'3".
Okay.
At the time. He's become a semi-famous in certain circles guy who does kind of like weird soundscape stuff.
Okay.
And he goes by the name Murmur.
Sounds interesting.
It is. He puts out albums of like weird just audio landscapes. Anyway, so he's peeing, and I look over my fucking shoulder, and this cat is producing a rainbow arc that's about 3/4 of an inch thick, and it is traveling from his person easily 12 feet.
Was he aiming up?
Yeah, it was like in an upward arc But
Who aims up, first of all?
someone who has a fucking horse cock like
Yeah.
this guy Patrick. I don't know what
He just
what kind
maybe
of,
he just had a horse urethra. He didn't necessarily have a
that's
horse
what
cock.
it is. This guy, like, I think that's the deal. It's like this guy was like, I can make you pregnant.
Had a
just
hole
fucking
like you wouldn't
looking at you.
Yeah,
You would not believe I have a tiny penis, but a giant urethra.
yeah, a giant dick hole. Wow.
It was the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life, and and I almost think it might have been a dream because it was so bizarre. Pat, I know you're not listening because you live in Bulgaria or whatever, but if you are,
Yeah.
what's up with that urethra?
What's gonna what happens if you contact him and he's just like, no, I don't have a large urethra. I urinate like a normal man.
This would be, it would be like the
Then you were gonna
WTF
realize.
with Louis C.K. where they had to make up on the air because he and I, we parted way. We had a
Right.
falling out.
Oh, I see. Because you called him corpulent.
Does that mean eats dead people?
I think so. Corpulent. I'm feeling a bit corpulent today. Let's see what the chef has got on the menu.
Jeff,
Yes.
you can imitate Luke Wilson.
Oh, I
Quite
guess
well.
I can. I've never done it before.
Well, you succeeded.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Brendan. I guess it's not very good.
Thank you, Brent.
What is he?
They didn't have any Marlboro Lights.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't know what. I lost it.
It's like one of those things where it's like the magic 3D dolphin at the mall.
You can't look directly at it.
You can, if you try, you can never do it again.
Yes. Brendan,
Jeffrey,
how are you?
Nice to see you. I'm better than I was 2 weeks ago.
Good. You are not dying of Meniere's tonight.
No,
Good.
I'm not as good as I was last week. Just kidding.
Does it come up on you like that? Should I watch out for any signs?
No. I get an aura, so I know it's coming.
Aura. I see. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like don't people who have seizures, like, don't they smell something
Oh yeah, they start
weird or
smelling
something
numbers.
like that? No.
Or they smell toast.
I think, is it burnt toast?
That's when you're having a stroke, I think.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
Okay.
you can smell burnt
I think
toast.
there's something epileptics can
yeah.
tell that they have a seizure coming on.
It might also be when your alternator's going if you have a foreign car.
Right. Yeah, exactly. That's a good guess as well. We have some upfront matter tonight to discuss.
Oh, the matter we discuss up front.
Yes, that's where we are. There's no theme song for the upfront matter.
No, there isn't, because this is really the first leaves of the experience.
Yeah, exactly. You're just cracking the spine open on Dad Jeans right now.
We are indeed.
And you're about to see what adventures await.
Here's what I have to say, Jeff.
Tell me.
This is the matters up front. I have checked a little bit out of the news ever since Trump left office.
Okay.
I used to obsessively wake up and doom scroll.
Yeah.
Before both eyes opened, I had read 17 articles.
I believe someone said that all scrolling is doom scrolling.
Oh,
now,
that's definitely true.
which is interesting. But
That is
okay.
interesting.
Yeah.
So I took a much needed break from the news.
Good
Not
for you.
all the news. I'm still paying attention. Kristen Sinema can go fuck herself, and so can Joe Manchin, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
But I've noticed a couple things. One is going to come up later. One is that apparently Joe Biden is in some sort of slump now.
Sure.
Which because France got pissed off about the submarines and then some other shit happened or whatever.
Yeah.
This feels so cooked up and manufactured.
Manufactured, yeah.
So manufactured.
Yeah. He's down to Trump's high.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly right. And so if the press who cooked up, I guess now, like the press misses all of us doom scrolling because they made so much money off of us being like, we have to check CNN. I haven't checked it in 5 minutes. And now I'm like, I haven't checked CNN in 5 days. I wonder what's happening. Apparently there's some white ladies missing, et cetera, et
Sure.
cetera. You know what I mean? So anyway, this feels, I feel like I'm on to the press in a way that I wasn't before.
Yeah.
NPR, New York Times, doesn't matter how highfalutin the press is. I now realize they're all eating each other's poop that comes out of each other's butts. And they're like, guys, everyone, Joe Biden is now in a slump and we're going to cover it that way. And then we're going to cover his comeback. And I almost think like maybe in the White House, they're like, okay, the comeback is going to happen in late October. What's going to happen, you guys? And they're like, okay, got it. You know what I mean? Like it's all just a way to keep us glued to our bullshits.
I have a less sort of sinister take. Like, I don't think Like, do you feel as if that's like how do they come to these grand narratives? Do you feel as if they are actively collaborating and discussing the plans? See, in my head, it is just the way that humans tell stories, and we just don't know how to live outside of that framework. Mm-hmm. So, like, it just naturally occurs. That's just all there is to it. Yeah. And I also think that they they willfully ignored how fucking insane the Trump administration was. Mm-hmm. Like, they couldn't wrap their heads around it. And so now that process of 4 years of just being beaten over the head with like sheer like incompetence and like maliciousness and malevolence, like, now that has reframed how they view the office of the presidency. Mm-hmm. And they're sort of like looking for like in order to sort of in order to not confront reality, they're continuing the Trump administration through Joe Biden and like finding ways to fit him into the Trump pattern, instead of just saying like Trump was a historical anomaly and like we fucked that up and we did a horrible job. Like, they've got to they somehow like have to keep their narrative like alive, or they're like coasting on this well of like information that they've like gotten from the Republican Party, and just like you know what I mean? It's like there's nothing. I don't see it as being nefarious as so much as just like just bad. They're bad at their jobs. They can't do journalism.
Yes. Yeah.
Because journalism is really hard.
Yeah. It's sort of like someone described the LAUSD this way. Yes, there's a superintendent, but no one runs the LAUSD. It's too gigantic. Yeah. And there's too much money.
It's a many-headed hydra.
It's a many-headed hydra, and there's no running an organization like that.
Sure.
And it's probably the same thing. It sort of moves along as this dust cloud.
Yes.
And it's just a bunch of people trying to do their jobs and make box office decisions, because frankly, every fucking decision in capitalism is a box office decision.
Sure. I mean, the bottom line is somewhere in there. I mean, it definitely isn't like, they're not all Democracy Now! Like, if these were legitimate news organizations, everything would just be Democracy Now!
Right, exactly. And there can be only one Amy Goodman.
Right.
In fact, in Highlander, the rest of that line that they kept leaving out was Amy Goodman.
Amy Goodman's.
There can be only one Amy Goodman.
It was just like a bunch of like John Stossels lined up trying to take Amy Goodman's place. And she's like, no, sir.
And that's why she has the scar with the baby pins across her neck.
Yes. I've always wondered why her head was barely being held on.
She's such a badass.
Yeah, but no, I hear you. It is like, but like, okay, I will say this. One thing that there may be, I mean, I'm irritated with how the Democratic Party is managing themselves right now, and some of my irritation is for Joe Biden, that like he is not communicating the way I want. Like, like, just be Donald Trump and like just fucking call people out and be like if this jackass Manchin and Kristen Sinema don't like get off their asses and do what we want, then we're gonna run them out of office. Like, what if Joe Biden said that?
Exactly. Have you ever in your life said, boy, the Democratic Party is really kicking some ass right now? In your life, have you said that? I haven't.
I've said like, wow, they really squeaked that one by.
Exactly.
That's like the Democratic example. That's like kicking ass.
They're always standing at the plate with a fucking pool noodle.
Yeah, and here's what fucking kills me is that like to NPR today, again, like journalistic objectivity, like is a phrase that is just lost to the annals of history. Like. To the annals of history.
The annals, I think.
This morning, they did a little blurb on the budget reconciliation there's the budget reconciliation package right now, and there's the budget package, like the bipartisan budget.
Oh, right.
Mm-hmm. And they said something about how how moderates were set to pass the budget package, but some progressives were holding out. because of the reconciliation package. And like, first of all, I don't understand this fucking strategy. I never have from the very beginning that they announced it. Like, we'll just do one here really big package that will pass with a party vote, and then we'll do a little small one that will pass with Republican votes. I'm like, you're not going to fucking get the Republican votes in the Senate anyway. Like, why are we doing this goddamn dance?
It's ridiculous.
They're just going to shut the whole fucking thing down.
Yeah.
But anyway, so like the way they framed it on NPR is that the progressives or the moderates were set to pass it and the progressives were holding it up.
Horseshit.
And I'm just like, that was the agreement from the beginning. Like, Joe Biden got that agreement. The moderates got that agreement. You know, like that. This is how we're going to do it like in a way that everyone can agree with. And the progressives are just agreeing to the deal that they already agreed to.
Right.
They're
That
like
isn't being
upholding the
picked
deal.
apart. Right.
Yes.
Exactly. Right. But any time that our beloved Democratic Party establishment is asked to have a spine, they get really shitty.
Sure.
You know?
There's a lot of there's a good handful of Democrats who do the dirty work of stopping us from getting anything done. And the people in power, the people at the head of the power, tend to, like, I think they secretly kind of side with those people.
Right.
They're not looking to whip, like Nancy Pelosi isn't looking to like change the world.
Because what if one of these radical ideas didn't work? Then the establishment
Right.
folks would be out of power.
Exactly.
Things are fine as long as they're fine.
Yeah, but how many years, how many decades do they have to have their asses handed to them before they realize maybe this isn't working?
It's just amazing.
You know?
It's just amazing.
Yeah.
You reminded me of something earlier when you said anal.
Anal.
Which is, there was one article where like it's something like smart toilets are here. Are you ready to share your anal print with big toilet or something?
Oh, wow. Amazing.
And I thought to myself, of all the sort of the privacy concerns, I don't feel particularly precious about the unique
about your butthole
print above my butthole.
Yeah.
Big like corporate interests can have their way with my butthole as far as I'm concerned.
What if they're beaming ads into your butthole?
Oh, that would explain everything.
What if you lay down to sleep at night and project it on the ceiling above you from your butthole is an ad for Pepsi?
Well, that would involve sleeping. No, actually, I do sleep like that.
Yeah,
where you hook behind your elbows with your elbows behind your knees, so that you are indeed pointing your asshole at the.
I mean, it's definitely not one of the best plans that the ad agencies came up with. The butthole ads, because they're kind of hard to see. Let's be honest.
And especially if you're hirsute of the butt crack, then it's like through a forest of diffusion.
Yeah. No, maybe we shouldn't. Maybe Young and Rubicam shouldn't have pursued that path.
I met a guy who made a movie about a guy who had a monster that climbed out of his asshole and killed people at night and then climbed back.
Wait, you know the guy who made that movie?
Yeah.
I've heard it's fantastic.
Bruno, I think it's called, or something like that. It's great.
I've heard it's great.
It's so fucked up and weird.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. He's awesome.
Oh, wait. No, I'm thinking about the guy who swallows things with his butthole.
What? There's a movie about
There's
that?
another movie about a guy who like just starts putting little things in his butt, and then it gets bigger and bigger, and he starts putting more and more things. Bigger and bigger
Does his butt grow teeth?
I don't know. I don't know what happens to the butt.
Wait a second. I just thought of the horror movie that will make us rich.
Okay.
My butt grew teeth.
Oh, there you go. Anal dentata. This is horrible. We got to stop talking about
this. Went juvenile quick.
Yeah.
It's all my fault.
Let's move into our first segment.
Oh, why not? Let's.
Grave New World.
Grave New World.
We're all gonna die, 'cause it's a grave new world. It's a never-ending shit show, and we're all gonna die. It's a grave new world.
Things are fucked up, man.
Things are fucked.
Fuck.
Fuck.
Hate it. Fuck you, world. Grave. What do you got to tell
I'd
me?
like to say
How do you
say
feel
something
on
about the Grave New World.
Yes,
Right?
please.
I've noticed that. Let me say a couple things. Let me first say this.
I'll let you.
Okay,
Go.
thank you.
The
It's going to be two
floor is
things.
yours.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Number one, I saw this tweet that has sort of haunted me and stayed with me.
Okay.
And the tweet was something to the effect of, I found the first person tweeter saying something like, I finally talked to my first climate scientist who was like, it's over. Just be with your family. Do what you love.
Holy moly.
And I was like, haha, that's fun. Oh, no, that's awful. And then I started to notice around the same time I heard that tweet that there's been a strange change of tone among the, our demographic. It's all like New Yorker and New York Times and like everyone, we all read the same shit. There's been a change of tone among people I speak to towards doom, towards like certain doom. A pallor seems to have been cast in the last 2 or 3 weeks.
The last 2 or 3 weeks, you think?
Yeah,
that's when it happened.
Yeah, end of the summer, like across September.
Oh, post-vax. I'm sorry, I was giving you the floor, but I just,
no, it's quite all right.
I think I know why.
I was burping. I wasn't flinching at your interruption.
Oh, okay. I think I'm understanding the timeline that we're on here.
Oh, maybe that's it. Maybe it's this like politicization of vaccines or something like that.
No, it's that we were out of the woods and now we're back in the woods. And
you mean the Delta variant? Like it's just it'll never let us out.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was we were like, okay, cool, like things are going to go back to normal now, and then it just like
slid back.
And not just did it slide back, but like all of the confusion that we went through a year ago, like is even worse now. Now it's just more like, do what you want, but don't do. It's like we're not all doing the same thing. Mm-hmm. It's just like, and there are a lot of places in the country where people weren't all doing the same thing, but in LA we were basically all doing the same thing. Yeah, like we were all shut down, we were all shut inside, we were all wearing our masks. We were all just waiting for it to be over. And now it's just like, I mean, there are people who I like love dearly who are kind of like, I'm done with this mask. Like I'm vaccinated. Like I'm just going to do my normal thing. But it's not in like a fuck you society world. It's what you're saying. It's like, these are end times anyway. I guess I'm just not going to wear my mask.
Oh, wow. Yeah. See, and people, a lot of people I talk to are like, wow, geez, I'm really... The world, I don't know. And to me, I'm like, the world has been hardcore ending since 2016. Since Trump took office, it's been hardcore ending.
Yeah, that was the accelerant.
And now it's sort of like, well, yeah, but is anything that different than it's been for the last 5 years? In a way, is my thinking.
Sure.
But some people, in terms of, I don't know, maybe there's some climate news I missed or something like that. But it seems like everyone is sort of really taking, like, things are taking a downturn.
I don't think it's the climate news. I think it's the climate itself, that it just feels weird. Something feels weird in our bodies to humans. Humans are like, this is not right. Something is not right in the world right now. We feel it. That's why people are fucking going crazy. That's why we're having all these, like, this QAnon bullshit. It's like the world is like, I mean, it's the Mark Wahlberg movie where it's like, oh shit, the trees are trying to kill us. Like, that's what's happening.
Just let me think, all right?
Yeah. What the fuck? The tree. Did you see that tree?
I was talking about when I went to see that movie with two of my pals on Cape Cod.
No.
And we decided to switch seats every time Mark Wahlberg said, just let me think, all right?
No, but that's amazing. I got to say about Mark Wahlberg, let me just side note. When I saw Boogie Nights, I was utterly charmed by Mark Wahlberg. I was like, that guy has something special. There is just something he's tapping into. He just like fucking blew me away with that movie. And I think he's had many good performances since. I do still find him rather charming.
And how do you like that? Yeah.
How do you feel about that guy?
Well, we're both from Dorchester. He's from Savin Hill, which means he's a little more fancy than I am.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you would not think so to meet the Wahlberg brothers. Yeah, you'd think, right?
Yeah,
and he's also a convicted hate criminal. Let's all remember.
Yeah, that's true. That's not super charming, that side of it.
That part. However, he has an it factor. And for me, I'm like, what would it like to be?
That's what it is.
Donnie, because Donnie ran the world, and then his younger brother was like, "Watch this,"
right?
And then.
Yeah, right. Yeah, his younger brother was like, watch this off of like the shittiest song you've ever heard in your entire life.
Hanging Tough?
No, the Good Vibrations.
Oh, Good Vibrations.
Funky Bunch.
Yeah.
Off of the shittiest song you've ever heard, and like a picture of him in his underwear.
Yeah,
like that got him a good 4 years of fame. Like he suddenly eclipsed Donnie in fame from those two horrible things.
Which is insane. Watching his trajectory.
Donnie's like, I did so much work. I worked so hard. Why do you do that to
They
me?
just played Fenway Park, New Kids on the Block.
The New Kids?
Yeah, over the summer.
Sarah would have been into that.
Yeah, so, was she a big New Kids NKOTB fan?
I don't think she was a huge fan. I mean, she went to see
nostalgia.
them. She was in the same way that everyone was at that age, I guess.
Oh, sure. Can I ask, how many, what year did you graduate high school? How many years?
93.
93, okay.
You're
Okay,
92, right?
Yeah, so she's younger than me. Yep, that tracks.
That tracks. Yeah, and she was 91.
So she was in
Or
sixth.
she was 94.
Please Don't Go Girl premiered when she was in 6th grade.
That it could be right. Could be right.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I was on the we were that's like the line between two generations of Gen Xers, I think, of late period Gen Xers.
100%.
Like, because I was the year when it was like boy band, who fuck that.
Yeah, same.
And she was the year when it's like boy band.
Yes.
Yay.
Right, exactly. Wait, so what year did you graduate high school?
I was 93. She was 94.
Oh, she was 94. Oh, she's definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
And I was 92. Yeah. So, Pearl Jam, what's the other one? The Nirvana.
Smashing Pumpkins?
That was my senior year
Nirvana.
of high school.
Yes.
That stuff broke. That was magic.
Oh, then I guess that was junior year for me. But it was like later. Was it late junior year?
I want to say it was fall of my senior year of high school.
Yeah.
Is when
That sounds
I started
right.
hearing Pearl Jam and Nirvana on the radio.
Yeah, that was magic. It was a
Changed
magical
everything.
time to live.
It was a magical time.
to live.
And music was amazing, as we've already discussed, until Third Eye Blind.
Yeah, maybe.
And
You
then
think they're
music
the ones
died
who-
until the White Stripes.
I would say Stone Temple Pilots, but I don't know where Third Eye Blind came. That Stone Temple Pilots to me were the first band that were just like, we're just gonna fucking like just rip this off and do it.
Yeah, do it like everyone else does it.
Yeah,
And with
exactly.
lyrics like "When the dogs find her." What the fuck?
his lyrics.
Ugh.
When the dogs begin to smell her.
Ugh,
That's what it was.
What the fuck is wrong with that guy? Ugh, terrible.
What were you saying right before that though? Like about Donnie Wahlberg, world being taken over by trees.
Wow, you pulled that way back. That thread was.
I know. I went too far back.
No, you found the exact place.
No, what I was going to say about New Kids, my sidebar about New Kids is that I really got into New Kids when everyone else fell out of New Kids, and they released that single Tonight. Do you remember? It was Beatles-esque.
Was that often No More Games? Their sophomore effort.
No, it might have been. No, I think it was one after that.
They had another album after
and they released it was like cribbing from just taking every Beatles George Martin flourish, and they threw it into one single, and it's fucking amazing. Tonight. Do you remember that?
No, that is
We've
great.
seen a lot of faces and girls.
I did
Told
see-
you about hanging tough. It's like self-referential.
Told you about hanging.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so
Yeah,
like
and
Strawberry
it's like-
Fields.
Yeah, it's got the strings and then
Mellotron.
And I think the ending might even just be the brrr, one chord from A Day in the
Wow.
Life that hangs on for 20 minutes.
That's kind of amazing.
Take a listen to Tonight when you get a chance by New Kids on the Block. It's truly a masterpiece.
Oh, I love it. I did see a supercut of was it indie rock or somewhat a supercut of some particular genre of band saying the word tonight, and that was it, singing the word tonight.
Oh, from a thing?
It was just a supercut of all these different bands all singing the word
Well,
tonight.
Smashing
It was-
Pumpkins, of course, had to be in there.
Tonight. That's all.
Yeah.
Jesus, all music cares about is tonight.
I like it when they sing about catching people when they fall. That's always a good lyric to me.
Oh, that is nice.
People are just always falling in
Always
the
falling.
world of
Just
rock
wanna
and
catch you.
rollers.
When I was
I've never caught someone when they fell in my a day in my life.
I'd be like, oh shit, get away.
Yeah, who's ever fallen on you? That
know.
doesn't fucking happen.
For most of my adult life, I would have been like, I don't have insurance, and run away from the person who's falling so they don't fall on me. So anyway, I guess
Don't
back
fall
to
on me.
see another one.
Fall on me. Okay.
That was pretty good. That was Michael Stipe's favorite song in their catalog.
Oh, really? It's a fucking great song.
He could warble.
God, I love them. Okay. Sorry. Keep going.
Anyway, I guess I've noticed a shift or
Yeah.
a turn, and I feel a little left out because to me it's been doom and gloom for a long time, but it's also kind of just a steady bump-free downward trajectory.
Yeah, into despair.
And I'm like, are you all joining me now in this, or am I missing something? Have things gotten worse and I wasn't noticing because I was unpacking in my garage?
Yeah, I mean, I think that if I had to guess, it would be that. Just that, like, we went from the promise of the summer into just like it just all fell apart, and I think like it was just like the ultimate kick in the balls that like, because now we've got everything, we've got the Democrats like in charge of everything, you know, we've got the culture like headed potentially in our direction, and I think it's even more depressing that we don't have like that evil like centerpiece in Donald Trump to just be like, oh well, how the fuck could we do anything? It's all Donald Trump's fault. Like now we're like,
it's diffuse.
Yeah, and now we're like, we could do something, and we're not doing anything. What's going on?
Oh, because of two senators.
Because of two senators who the Democratic Party is very conveniently allowing to keep doing their bullshit.
Right.
For whatever reason. I don't know, man.
Jesus.
I get you. No, I feel that. It's definitely felt like I've been like at the end of my rope with this virtual work world for the last couple of weeks, for sure.
Jesus Christ.
For the last couple of months, probably. But that leads into my grave new world.
Well, let's hear it.
Which is, I realized something that, you know, there's this like, there seems to be like an undercurrent on Twitter that I'm reading where people are like, oh, they're going to want us to go back to the office, and we don't want to go back to the office because we love working from home. Like that seems to be like a thing that people are saying. But I realized this week that they don't want us back in the office, because when you're in the office, it gives you a feeling of collective power. So they like that we're at home, because I can't just talk to my coworker and be like, fuck, this is like happening to me. And the coworker's like, it's happening to me too. Let's like band together and do something about it. Like all that shit is gone.
You're right.
All we are is pure work machines. The corporation loves us being at home.
Right. And you're not pissing next to somebody who's having a shitty day.
Exactly. Yeah. You can't influence each other's behavior, and you can't like gain strength from each other.
Right.
And
unless you did something as transgressive as on Slack, start a private Slack thing with just that person, because then you're rabble rousing.
Sure. I mean, you can do that. It's just not.
But that's taking that step.
Well, it's a step, but it's just like you're still filtered through. You're still going through the medium of technology. It's different from being like right next to the guy at the stall who's shooting a arc of piss 3
like
feet into the air.
You're just like cracking the urinal.
Right. Yeah. See that
right
there
of a urethra.
Right there. If you were standing next to Davy Pilkin or whatever his name was,
it was Davy Pilkin.
Davy Pilkin. And you had said, let's form a union, then he would have been like, let's do this shit.
And I would have been like, we need you on that wall.
Yes.
Pissing like this all over.
Yeah. Standing in front of the giant rat outside of the offices, just peeing on the crowd.
There was once a time, Jeffrey, when workers the world over, when someone would say something that was like soft on management.
Yeah.
Someone would turn to them and be like, whose side are you on?
Ooh, yes. Whose side are you on,
and
boys?
anytime you are in a job and like somebody you know gets promoted and will become management, they're gonna become not as fun.
It's true. You know, I actually had this conversation with Matt, our good friend Matt Ransford, the other day, and he got really mad at me. I don't know if he got mad at me. It's all happening on text. Like he got maybe jokey mad at me or whatever. Oh, yeah. But he got annoyed with me because I said that like all that's left for us are the isolated old man roles. Like we're not part of the collective anymore. We're not going to be going out to drinks nights with the kids. Like we are now in the management tier. And that's where we're going to be for the rest of our life. And he's like, he's like, man, you got to get a new job. Like that's depressing. I'm like, yeah, it's depressing.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
I'm like, but there is no new job.
I've been thinking about that. That's funny. You put words to something that a phenomenon I've been thinking about quite a bit.
Sure.
Like by now, we were supposed to have achieved a certain strata in society, in our work, in culture, where up until very recently, it was all of culture was built to celebrate the fat old fuck.
Sure.
Who had achieved financial and business success or something like that. Like they're brought like when I was walking in the Fox lot and these two fucking executives were driven not to just the front of the building so they could get out and walk across the plaza to go in the door. They were driven on top of the marble to the door to get out of their fucking
car. That's a high roller.
Yeah. And so I was like, oh, you assholes, as soon as I saw that.
Who was that? Harvey Keitel and
it was
Bob Eubanks.
It was Harvey Keitel and Bob Eubanks. How the hell did you know that?
I don't know. I
because they were talking about a newer, darker reboot of Mr. Belvedere, where Harvey Keitel would be Mr. Belvedere, and they solved crimes.
Right. Yeah, I love that. Oh my god, I love that. Why didn't Harvey Keitel and Bob Eubanks ever work together?
Oh, that is amazing.
Put me in the front row.
What's really weird is I was thinking. First of all, every time I am being seated somewhere that has to do with a ticket, I was at the LA Opera the other night, and I almost made that Bob Eubanks joke. Oh, I must be in the front row.
Oh yeah,
and no, would anyone get it?
No, no one gets it.
Only
anymore.
you would get it, Jeff.
I said on Twitter today that I realized that I was just amazed by how prescient Max Headroom was. That we would all eventually just become stuttering heads in a box with digital backgrounds.
Yes,
and no one got it.
Max Who Room, they would probably say.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. But I was just thinking about that today, like how prescient that was. Like he's a guy on Zoom. That's what we were watching.
Yep. That's
on
exactly
Max
right.
Headroom.
30 years ago.
Yeah. That was crazy.
That is insane.
Okay, but wait, we were in the middle of something. Follow it back.
This is like the one. This is like season 1 of Dad Jeans.
I know. We've fallen.
We're really throwing.
We've fallen apart. It's because we're drinking. It's because I'm drinking. That's the problem.
And I
fall apart. Working from home.
Grave New World. Are we in Grave New World?
Yeah.
Okay. And you were talking about
Bob Eubanks. You were just talking about people being led to the door and how we're all just becoming these old. That was the trajectory.
Oh yes, and it
at
began with when
society.
your friend is promoted at work, your friend who you goof around with. You're not going to be able to goof around with them anymore because there's this line you go over when you become management.
Yeah,
like when I worked for the trolley company, there was this guy, super funny, awesome guy.
Yeah,
really funny. And he got promoted to whatever, head something or other. And he really became like a Nazi about the rules. Like people would punch in and then go change into their work uniform. And on his first day, he put up a sign that said, "We don't pay you to get dressed.
Whoa.
So punch in after you get dressed, not when you first get here."
Whoa.
Like that kind of like very sort of like team the owners.
Sure.
Feel like still a great guy.
Yeah.
And maybe the joke's on me, and maybe he's one of our biggest fans. But nonetheless, I found that to be a very odd. Like he just started doing these things that would like please the two jackknobs that own the company.
Yeah, I get that. It's weird. I'm in a weird world where like everyone's cool. Everyone's cool. Like we're cool. We own a company. We're cool. And it's just like there's no like. But it's sinister, it's nefarious, it's it's lurking under the ground that we have timesheets that like people are just like, "Hey buddy, did you really work all those hours last week?"
Oh, stop it. Are you serious?
Just checking on you. Yeah, totally.
Ew.
That kind of shit. And I'm like, "Yeah, I did, motherfucker. Like I spent half my day on Saturday doing this bullshit."
Ew. And is this an HR person or like an accounts
HR-ish. I mean, giving him the benefit of the doubt. He's a very good guy. Like giving him the benefit of the doubt. It's a thankless job to be the guy who like is looking at the numbers on spreadsheets.
Yeah.
But we have spreadsheets that have numbers on them.
Right.
And that is if you are at a certain level in the company, that is more your concern than the well-being of your employees.
Absolutely.
The number on the spreadsheet is the top concern.
No one's concern is the well-being of the employees.
Sure.
0 people's concern is that.
Yeah.
And in fact, if you're an employee that gets promoted, you are so relieved to not have to think about your own well-being anymore and just torture the others from now on.
That's true. That's true. I should
It's the fucking
use that to motivate
Stanford
me.
prison experiment
Yes.
all over again.
Give me one of those batons. I'll be whipping up my fellow man in no time.
All us humans
Macking
just
them in the
want to
face.
be management.
Yes. Let's move on
Okay.
from Philip Zimbardo into our secret shame.
Oh, our secret shame.
Something went wrong and I'm to blame. It's all my fault, my secret shame. Fucking up, that is my game. Now here we go, it's my secret. It's my secret shame.
Brendan, do you remember what this segment is about?
Not exactly.
I would guess it's something that you're secretly ashamed of.
That would be my guess also. Is
Yeah.
that what it's about? Did you
guess.
make up this segment or did I make up this
I
segment?
think it might have been organic, or maybe no. I think you did because you had something about how you like to look at little boys' butts or something like that that you admitted to us in a very special episode of
Off the Air,
Bad
Jeff.
Dreams.
So, very special episode. Speaking of little boys,
Okay.
my little boy insisted that we buy coconut La Croix.
Oh,
It's like
not a
drinking
fan?
suntan lotion. It's disgusting.
They got their hooks in me, Brendan. They
The
got their
coconut
hooks in
ones?
me. All of it.
Well, I love the rest of it.
I don't like the There are a few I'm not crazy about, but
Pamplemousse.
the pamplemousse.
Eh
is-
oui, oui,
eh,
oui,
très
yeah,
bien.
c'est bon,
Ouais.
c'est bon.
Ça c'est ouais, c'est si bon. Si c'est ouais.
Ouais.
Très bon.
Très, très bon.
But I like the coconut. But they're all like kind of like drinking a scented candle, right? Like that's what
Right, you're at
LaCroix is.
Hickory Farms.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
That is exactly it. Melted hickory, carbonated hickory
Yes.
candle farm wax.
Someone dropped like one little cedar chip of potpourri in your soda water.
and you're like, hey, let's start a business.
yeah. But I
Let's use my last name, LaCroix.
we drink them like they're going out of business. Like
I
we're
know,
keeping
and
them in business with how much we drink
Scented
them.
seltzer's been around forever. I don't know why LaCroix were the ones that were there at the right time.
I don't know. I think it was a joke. Like people were like laughing, like it was because they've been around. They've been around forever. Like have you ever read the story about LaCroix? Like
No.
They
And should
were-
I be saying LaCroix, not LaCroix?
it's LaCroix.
Oh, Jesus. Don't I feel like the fucking asshole?
I mean, it's hard. You want to say it the right way, but it's not. They refuse to let you.
How
say
would
it
a
the right way.
Parisian say this?
Oh, they'd say LaCroix.
LaCroix. That's right.
Right.
That's how I say it.
But that's like you don't say like Des Moines.
Sure I
You
do.
say Des Moines.
You know those cavemen
Des Moines.
from the Europe? Cro-Magnon.
Ouais,
Ouais.
comme ça. Exactement comme ça.
Yeah.
Okay, so ça va. Ça va bien.
Oui.
Ça va mal. Ça va comme ci, comme ça. Okay, so LaCroix. No, they were this Midwestern company, and somehow people started buying them because their cans look so ridiculous.
Yeah, they're very 80s.
Yeah, and then it became like a meme, or it was like
This is like
I feel
when
an
Hush
Instagram
Puppies
thing.
became a thing again.
Oh,
the,
did
the
that
shoe,
happen?
Wait, was that the shoe? Is there a thing called a Hush Puppy is a type of
Sure.
shoe? So like hipsters in New York started wearing Hush Puppies, and
Okay.
then everyone was like, I guess we're all wearing Hush Puppies now.
Sure.
So
Or
it's
like
like someone in
Malort.
Williamsburg was
Drinking
like,
Malort. Yeah. Do you know Malort?
no, Malort?
Malort. It's a Chicago drink.
Oh, that
that's
does
like
ring a
tastes
bell.
horrid. It's like the worst tasting thing I've ever had in my mouth. It tastes like gasoline.
Mm.
But people in Chicago, hipsters in Chicago, are like, "This is terrible. Let's start drinking it." And now it's like completely resuscitated this dying company.
Oh,
and now,
God.
like any bar you go to in Chicago,
They'll offer
you will
you
get a
Malort.
shot of Malort. Yeah,
Or like Saint Germain,
yeah, it's something like
which
that.
is disgusting.
I think
it's like a
it's-
liqueur.
Yeah. Where are we at? Secret shame.
Secret shame. Do you have a secret shame, Jeffrey? To
I
share?
do. I'll tell you about my
Oh,
secret
please!
shame.
I'm looking forward to this.
This is very shameful to admit because I got extremely lucky that my wife Sarah chose to settle down with me.
You are a lucky man. She's awesome.
She is awesome. She's hot. She's like
She's everything in the world. She's the total package.
understanding. She's
An American original.
caring. She's like very easy to talk to,
Mm-hmm.
loving, wonderful mother. Yeah. I don't know how I landed Sarah Cole. I am the luckiest man in the world,
Mm-hmm.
but sometimes I wish she were a little bit more of a nerd.
Really?
That is my secret shame. She doesn't
Interesting.
like she played in bands and stuff like that. So like
Sure.
we have many of the same references, but she doesn't nerd out with me, you know, like she doesn't like sit down, like she won't, you know, we'll play a game together and she'll play it with me. And that's why I'm so lucky, because like many wives would never even think to play that game with you, but she'll play it with me and then she'll be like, yeah, I'm not super into this, or, you know, it's fine. Like she's not like, we don't ever like just nerd out on something. Like she's not like, fucking love Fellini movies. Let's just watch all of the Fellini movies tonight, you know?
Yes.
Like that, like she doesn't have that. But maybe women don't have that. Maybe that's more of a guy thing, to just be like obsessive compulsive about media.
What's that book that came out, that novel, something like My Gorgeous Best Friend or My Beautiful Best Friend or something like that?
I don't know it.
This book came out that it seems to me every woman that I know was reading.
Okay.
All at the same time.
Is it the Italian series?
Maybe it's a white cover, two figures in dresses facing away from you. My wonderful best friend. My something.
Yeah. I think that's an Italian.
What
book.
if could it be something like this, that like you described? Fellini movies. I don't know. What if you did something where it was like, we're gonna read, like whatever the hell she's into.
something
We're gonna
that
do
she's
something
really
that's
into.
Yeah, that's like
Brendan,
a chick
look
flick.
at you.
We're gonna do rom-coms this weekend. We're gonna nerd out on rom-coms.
Brendan, you're really turning my thoughts around on this one. Wow, look at you.
A thought for you.
Look at you. Boy, I really was thinking about this all the wrong way. Oh boy, you really turned me around on this one. Brendan. Wow. Yeah, that's a good point.
snarf in as many weeks.
Wow. All right, 2 for 2. That's amazing. Yeah, I think that's a good experiment. Let me see. Like, what are you into?
I saw someone observe that romantic comedies are porn.
Yeah.
Are the porn equivalent for women.
Interesting.
Emily and I had a whole discussion about porn today, and the act of watching porn, and like what could possibly be in it for a person. You know what I mean? And she's not
Okay.
someone who's like, I love romantic comedies. You know what I mean? But it's like,
she is
but I
someone who
think
loves porn.
yeah, but it's fucking weird. Her shit.
Porn is weird. Oh,
No,
are
her-
the things that she's into?
I
Yeah.
can't. I'm just like, I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm out. I'm just gonna go to sleep.
I
and
understand.
Hope
yeah.
this is over
Like
soon.
Men and baby in diapers and stuff like that. Yeah, eating eggs. Like Edith Massey.
Right. No, she just wants to watch Cool Hand Luke have that swollen 50-egg stomach. She just wants that scene on repeat.
Oh, wow.
What's that about?
Just pausing on it.
yeah,
Like, yeah.
You know, when they tap on it and it's all hard.
I can eat 50 eggs. Yeah. That's so good.
No, we were talking. Someone observed. It was very interesting. This sort of notion that it activates the same, like porn we're visual, or a visual medium, us dudes. Porn activates the same part of our brain that romantic comedies do in the ladies. Was this person's observation? Well, I found that quite fascinating.
Interesting. I mean, yes. Okay. Let me just say, like, yeah, but there's a different way of like Sarah doesn't geek out. Like if she was like, I want to watch a romantic comedy, I'd be like, yes, let's do it. Like,
Oh yeah.
there is something very like she just doesn't care. Like, yeah, we could watch a romantic comedy and she'd be into it, but she would never be like, I want to watch 50. I want to watch all 30 of the best romantic comedies of all time according to the AFI list. And I'd be like, yes, that's a fun. Let's nerd out on it. She's like, we'd watch. Excuse me. We'd watch like half of Dirty Dancing and she'd fall asleep. And, you know,
So she's a generalist.
she's a generalist. Yeah, I mean, I think just like I've always had a theory that like a lot of popular culture doesn't really speak to women because it's like sort of framed by men. Like the whole framework is a male framework. Like rock and roll is a male framework, and there are like women, you know, led rock bands, but they have to fit into the male framework. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure. And it's the patriarchy is everywhere you look,
Exactly. Everywhere you look.
to the horizon in every direction.
Sure.
And that is interesting, right? And so you just look at the neck of a guitar, you know, and you're like, okay. that's what's
Oh,
going
sure.
on here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Like Davy
interesting.
Pilkins' penis.
Oh yeah,
That's
Edie Falco. What is it again?
Davy Pilkin?
Davy Pilkin.
Yeah.
Not Edie Falco.
No.
That would make no sense.
No.
Right. I don't know. It's a good question. I think there's going to be something. Watch it. Put that watchful eye, that watchful Jeff Dinsmore eye upon her.
If I were to suggest like let's read like therapy books. Like I just want to read like a bunch of therapy books.
Everything
with
by
you.
this one author, maybe.
Oh yeah, or in a certain camp of like therapeutic, like
Self-helpy
whatever.
kind of situations, or is it just or more highfalutin
Well,
therapy?
she's like a fucking like masters of social work now. Now she's reading like real in depth like
Oh wow,
technical shit.
damn.
But I don't know. But again, no, I don't know if she enjoys that or she just has this compulsion inside to be like, I'm doing a job. This is my job. I'm going to do the thing.
Do you know about SSRN?
I don't think so.
It's a website where that is a collection of interesting papers and other like random shit that people put on.
Okay.
It's sort of like Reddit for academics, kind
Ooh,
of.
interesting.
And it's full of like bizarre, awesome stuff that you find. You just go down rabbit holes, and you're like, "Wow!" You find studies on things that you're like, "Oh my god, it's amazing!" And then
I
you do
love
this
that.
other thing of free associate. Anyway, maybe you could sit down and have an evening of SSRN together.
Okay. Well, I like all of your suggestions.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
This isn't an advise me a bro, but
You're right. I may have
I
overstepped.
appreciate the advice I got. No, you like I said, you turned me around on it. I'm thinking about it in a new way now.
I've got it. I know what will make her geek out. Are you ready?
Yeah.
You know how they did Point Break live,
I do.
and then they did like Terminator 2 live.
Oh, I didn't know they did that, but okay.
What about Goonies live up in Alta Vista or wherever you live?
You want
Don't you live in that search
it?
engine from the 90s?
Yeah.
Alta Vista.
Yeah, exactly. Right next to Angel Fire.
I think in somebody's like backyard amphitheater in Alta Vista, we should all do Goonies live.
I mean, you've sold out the first like 7 months of the run just from saying those words. Goonies Live.
I think I have.
That's done.
And
That's
she
done.
would be Martha Plimpton.
Oh wow.
Don't you think?
I like all of these ideas, but you're saying that's how I'm going to get her to geek out is to force her
Cast
to
her.
perform in a non-existent play that we just invented.
Which should
you just
obviously
invented.
also be a musical.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. All right.
sort of 80s
okay.
influenced
Good.
musical.
I love it. I love it.
What should we play?
Who should we play? Chunk. Just both of us together.
Both of us play
You'll
Chunk.
be the top half. I'll be the bottom.
You know who Chunk is as an adult?
Do tell.
Bill Watterson's lawyer.
Really?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
So Chunk obviously should play Chunk.
Yeah, that's probably true.
But we could play Sloth.
Which one is that?
The big rocky road. That guy.
Oh, that guy. Oh, that's who I was thinking.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Chunk is the little kid.
Chunk is the little fat kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be Sloth, I guess.
I'll also be Sloth. Maybe we could
I'll be the
share
Rock.
the role.
I'll be the Rock.
The Rock.
Just that rock that's sitting out in the ocean.
Or you could be Joe Pantoliano.
Sure. Yeah, why not? I'll whatever you need me
I want to
do.
be the mom in the Pearls that's chasing them, the bad guy.
Is that the mom from Throw Mama from the Train?
Same lady.
Oh, she's amazing.
She's incredible.
Okay, what is your secret shame, Brendan?
Here's the thing, Jeff.
Yes. Dude, tell me the thing.
Here's what I didn't. If you had told me this about parenthood, I love my son and
Yeah.
I love being a parent. But
a
if you
bullet
told me
for
this
him.
one thing, take a bullet for him. And he's great. Everything about him is great. But if you told me this one thing about parenthood in general, I honestly
Yes.
might have had second thoughts. And it is
Ooh.
this:
Okay.
how often I, as a dad, get injured.
Oh. Oof.
As a dad, you get hurt all the time.
This was almost my Spike Club tonight, which is wild play. My son loves wild play.
Oh,
I fucking hate it.
Oh, and like
I hate
wrestling on
having
the
to
bed. and stuff
Wrestle,
like that.
yes, roll
all
around
that
and
ca-
get
yeah.
like smacked in the face.
Yeah, and then he like gets up and he sits on your face and farts into your nose and stuff like that. And that's kind of fun.
I don't have
It's
quite.
funny when he does
I don't
that.
have quite a boy as you do, but
yeah.
But that kind of stuff. Yeah, just
getting
like
bigger.
jumping on me and punching me and
And even moments where
surprising me.
Oscar was getting
fucking
in the-
just surprising me.
or
Like I'm
stab you in the
trying to
pencil.
pee.
Right,
Stop
exactly. I'm
surprising
like,
me.
Can I poop? Like he comes up and talks to me as poop is literally falling out of my butt. That is the most private and precious moment of my day when the poop is
Right.
actually leaving my
What if
person.
they made a Precious Moments doll that was just a guy like dropping a deuce?
I know. And,
With
and
the
he's
wings.
like, Dad.
Angel wings.
There's just this really important thing. And I'm like, you know what I mean? Like it's happening as he's trying. And I'm like, this is,
Yeah.
Anyway, love him. A lot of the injuries don't have anything to do with him. Just last week,
Yeah.
I got my fucking thumb chewed off by our dog.
Yeah, that wasn't his fault.
That wasn't his fault. By the way, this is the you can't. I'll show it to you after the.
It's back.
It's,
do you,
it-
do you
I'm
feel
not wearing
normal?
that. Oh, here's that. Look at that right there. See that?
That's
Fucking
ouchy.
disgusting.
Do
Gross.
you
This is
feel
blood.
normal?
Oh, it feels basically
Did you get your
normal.
$1,700? We have to update our.
We have a.
viewers
I have
on
not.
this.
I still haven't written
Our
it.
listeners on
Emily
this.
got home today, and now I have the courage to write the note.
Oh, did she back you up?
We haven't talked about it.
Oh, geez. Okay.
Yeah, I got to write that guy.
Yeah.
And actually, Walt got his stitches out today.
Oh, good.
But
So his neck is back to normal.
his neck is back to normal, although it's pretty gruesome in there. He's all shaved, and he's a wrinkly. This kind of dog has like a lot of extra like skin around the neck, and so it's just all gathered at the incision point.
Oof, do you have to clean it?
No, but they were like some of these scabs as they fall out might reveal sutures that we couldn't see.
Oh,
so
wonderful.
then just come back and we'll cut those out too.
Wonderful. Okay.
Anyway,
Yes. Your son's always hurting you, or you're getting
I
getting
just
hurt
always-
just because you
ever
have
since
a
it's born,
child.
like yeah, there's Legos on the ground. You just
Right,
kneel down to
right,
get
right,
something.
right,
There's
right,
always
right.
shit all over the floor.
Right.
But until Oscar was born, I had no relationship to the human floor. Floors were
Yes.
things you walked on.
Yes.
And they held furniture
You were
for
never
you to
on
sit
them.
on. I was never on them, and I never had to get things off of them
No.
because nothing fell onto them.
No, I would kneel once every trimester.
Same.
When I was before this.
At the fucking maximum.
if I had to.
If you had to.
If I had no other option but to kneel.
But you had the time to take your shoe off and your sock while
Right.
standing, and then try and grab it with your toe, and
Yeah.
then hand it to yourself with your
Of course,
toe fist.
much better. Much better.
Because and then you could put your sock back on and your shoe back on, and then
Yeah.
congratulate yourself that you did all that in under
Yeah,
like 10
never
minutes.
had to kneel, yes.
because you had that 10 minutes.
Yeah, right,
And so
exactly.
it's just you get it. See, dads and people who are thinking maybe they might become a dad.
Mm-hmm.
You get the dirtiest, most hideous jobs. You're a glorified roadie, and you're always carrying shit that's bulky, and it's slamming your knuckles into door frames. Like
Yes.
you just get hurt all the fucking time.
Yes.
As a dad. As a dad,
Yes.
dads get hurt a lot.
Right.
And I am a fucking baby.
Yeah.
And so when I get hurt, I yelp and yell fuck really loud.
Yeah. Fuck.
Fuck.
Of course.
Ow, fuck.
Yes, of course.
My neighbors all day hear me. Even Oscar's it's like at school on the other side of this
Yeah.
hill next to my house. And still I'm yelling fuck all
You're
day,
like Sideshow
stubbing my
Bob with the
toe.
rakes all day.
Yes,
Just
I
like
really
one
am.
rake after another, smacking you in the forehead.
Rake after another.
Yeah.
And so I'm just like, fuck, ow, fuck,
Yeah.
over and over again, right? And so
It's real comedy of manners happening in
it
the
really
Hughes
is.
household.
Its noise is off all day, except it's a dark, not funny one because I'm such a
Right.
baby about
Right,
it.
right.
And what I usually yell when I get hurt, which
Mm-hmm.
is about 30 times a day, is "fuck you." To who am I saying that to?
Yeah, just whatever. The
I was,
air.
I was lifting the toilet seat up, and I like hit my head on the
Ow.
cabinet above the toilet
Ooh.
seat, and I was like, "Fuck you!"
Who
Like,
puts
yelled
a
at,
cabinet
you know?
above a toilet seat?
Our house is very weird.
The people who flipped this place really had some
I know.
strange ideas.
It's a hole.
I went to turn on Brennan's sink last week, and there's no like
There's no actual way
nothing
to
to
turn it on.
grab
Yeah.
onto
No.
on the knob. It's
Right.
like you have to it's like doing like a puzzle in Myst or something like that. You have to like figure out which
Well, we're hipsters, Jeffrey.
I know
This
that's
is
true.
Eagle
That's-
Rock, California.
That's what hipsters do.
Yeah.
It's a lovely home. Don't
Thank
get me
you.
wrong.
Thank you.
Love your lovely home.
Hardwood floors in California, not easy to come by,
That is true, and they're real.
and they're real.
Yeah,
They come from the past.
that is nice.
They go back to the beginning, and they were a mess when we moved in. We had to really like
Oh yeah,
the
Oh, you
guy.
did a nice
We
job.
hired a guy who had to do a whole thing, and he was like, they have to go," and we are like, "No, please, 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 please." And so we had to do all this extra shit underneath. Anyway, because I yell fuck you,
Yeah.
ouch all day.
Yeah.
that has turned Oscar. That I feel.
Yeah.
This is my secret shame.
Yeah.
has given Oscar an explosive temper.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to do a Davy Pilkin pee on your theory here, but
Nice urethra.
but which came first, the chicken or the egg?
Mm-hmm.
Is the fact that you're screaming all day is a genetic thing that you have passed on to him? How do you know?
Well, I was sort of thinking
Nature or nurture here?
Nature, nurture. I know, because he has a temper on him, or at least he feels completely free to express upsetness, which is probably a W for us. I would say on the. I get
Sure. There's something nice about like our children being able to express themselves. Like when my kids get angry, I'm just like, that's cool. Like I don't feel like my parents would have like had a cool reaction. I pat myself on the back. I'm like, my parents would have been assholes to me if I got angry at them like this. But I'm just like, all right, little brother, I get it.
Yeah. Hey, man. Yeah.
I get it. You're in pain.
Oh, see, I wish I should do that, but sometimes I'm already grading him on the adult curve, and I'm like, "Don't talk to me that way," and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
You're like, oh fuck, and he's like, oh fuck, and you're like, fuck you.
Exactly. Or like he's cranky when he wakes up, and I'm like, "Look, I'm sorry, I'm just trying to make you breakfast. You don't have to fucking treat me that way." You know what I mean?
I'm a dick.
Oh, am I inconveniencing you by making you breakfast?
Yeah, I have friends. My friends in Flagstaff that we went to visit recently, Josh and Jenny, just like oldest, dearest friends in the world.
Hey, Josh and Jenny.
Hey, Josh and Jenny. I don't know if they listen anymore. They used to listen, but they said they listen to Dad Jeans on road trips. But like their son Leo is an only child, and he's 9, 8, maybe. Like, or no. I'm sorry. No, he's 11. I think he's a little bit older than Hazel. Or same. No, maybe 10. But I don't know. Anyway, they're like 20 years apart. Because like Hazel is a sibling and like Leo is by himself, and they said that Josh and Jenny said that when they go out with their friends, their friends all refer to Leo as their roommate. They're like, "Is your roommate coming out tonight?" Because they have that relationship where he's just like this dude living in their house. And he's 10 years old, and I'm like, "You're a little kid." But
I know exactly.
He's so mature.
Yeah, I know exactly what they're talking about. There's a sense. Emily and I often talk about our roommate. And you're like, God, this guy,
your roommate. Yeah. So okay, so I'm sorry. You're worried that you have turned him.
I'm worried that I greenlit
angry,
an explosiveness,
right?
Because I'm like, fuck, and he's like, what is it? You know what I mean?
Sure.
And then he's like, he gets all mad too. And because there's this guy Andy who we used to live in a triplex in Silver Lake, and Andy, also a Meniere's sufferer, is
interesting.
You probably met him, the loveliest human being that has ever walked the earth.
You lived with another dude. Since
in
I've
one of the
known
other
you,
apartments.
You've been solo.
Oh yeah, no, I mean like when I lived with Emily in Silver Lake.
Oh, I see. Oh, he was the guy who owned the place. Was that him?
No, another guy. He was a musician.
Oh, okay.
He played at my wedding. He was a musician who did he did folk music and stuff like that. Bald guy, dated another woman. Anyway,
you dropped me the minute you started hanging out with Emily, but keep going.
So
this is how I got you back. Was Dad?
It was very smart. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And thank you for getting me back, Jeff. I had forgotten who I was.
I'm glad that we're back here together. Okay.
He is just the greatest guy in the world.
Yeah.
He lives in Canada now. He's just so Pacific Northwest. He's just always in a flannel and like fixing shit. And I could imagine him hurting himself and being like, "Ooh, that was a good one. Ooh, I got myself pretty good there that time,
buddy."
Oh,
he'd hurt himself.
It was old time hockey. Like, what does old time hockey do,
buddy?
And if old time hockey,
that's gonna leave a mark, buddy.
Yes, exactly.
I watched old time hockey.
Did you?
Yeah.
Isn't he so delightful?
I'm on the fence. I'm on the fence about old time hockey.
Check out his YouTube.
I don't know how much
how
much I trust him.
Oh, there's nothing. This is outside. This is extra trustial.
Hey, buddy. I wanted something new. I wanted something new from old time hockey. Excuse me. But that's what TikTok is.
And there you should go to new time hockey.
You get your niche, and you do your niche,
and then you do your thing. Yeah, you go a mile deep and a foot wide.
But I was intrigued.
And in TikTok's defense, it is making, in a way, an entire generation into Stanley Kubrick.
I mean, some of the editing shit that's going on
is out of control.
I don't know how to. That's how I've been complaining to Brendan like over text that like he says that I can get the algorithm will find what I like, but like I've been like flipping through TikTok because Brendan loves TikTok so much, and like I just want to. And when I see a good TikTok, I'm like, that is awesome. I love that. That is good entertainment. I will be into that. Mm-hmm. But like I'm flipping through and it's just fucking, it's like Benny Hill on my feed. It's like a bunch of fucking Asians chasing each other with frying pans.
Listen,
like
man.
in double time. And I'm just like, what is this? This is like, there's a lot of bad comedy on TikTok.
Jeff, the algorithm knows you better than you know yourself.
Maybe that's it. Maybe I just need to get to settle in and be like, that's what I like.
I knew I had diabetes when Huffington Post ads told me so.
Okay.
I don't actually have diabetes, but I sure thought I did for a while because of all the ads I was seeing. I knew I was pregnant, but the baby had, it's gone. Damn it. What's that one that's
Fetus and Fetu? What?
I know I tell you that story.
No.
The one where I was at Planned Parenthood in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And I had to and I had this like weird thing where if I push my stomach out, it goes to one side, which is still true. And I was all freaked out. And I think I was getting an HIV
hernia?
test or something like that, or some
Talking
other
about
test.
a hernia?
Maybe, or a ripped wall. It does. But anyway, I was talking to the doctor at Brooklyn Planned Parenthood, and they're awesome there. And she was like, so talking to her, and so I was like, so this is a weird thing, and I just learned this term in fetus and fetus, and I'm like, it always felt like this is like this hard thing on my stomach.
Yeah.
And she was like, wait a second. Are you telling me you think you might have a quado?
That's right.
Oh, it's great. She was awesome. She was awesome. Okay.
Yes. Anyway.
So if I could be like
That's your
old time
secret
hockey
shame.
and be like, ooh, hey, Thumb,
Right.
hey, Thumb.
Your son, you think would be more of a well-mannered.
Basically, if I were a better person,
Yeah.
would my son be less angry?
I don't know, because I think Sarah and I are pretty mellow people. Like we are very mellow parents. Like we don't, and our kids are just fucking ape shit, man. I think kids are just crazy.
Are they just crazy?
They're kind of just crazy. Like they just, I don't think there's much you can do. Like you got to wait until hopefully when they're adults, they'll like settle down. But like, and boys especially, they just have like weird shit happening in their bodies. Like,
I don't want to be a gatekeeper.
Yeah.
I think we talked about this on the air, the difference between having a daughter and having a son.
Maybe
we haven't talked. Maybe we only talked about this off the air.
I don't know if we have.
I was just watching this woman. No, I was watching this little girl. Like I was talking to Brian on a Zoom. That's what it was. I was watching this little girl sit in her garden with her
Brian L.
mom.
Perkins?
Yeah.
Okay.
And this little girl sitting in a garden with her mom next to my mother-in-law's
Sounds like
house.
an Ad and Getty's photo shoot is what you were watching.
It might as well have been.
Yeah.
And she was like holding the seed packets
Yeah.
while her mom planted stuff and being like, what is this one? And they'd be like, that's strawberries. What's this one? That's kumquat. And they're
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like having this like engaging time.
Oh, see, that sounds
and I started
lovely.
to be like, oh man, hey Oscar, look, there's a pine cone. He was like, fuck you.
Yeah. He's like shoving sand into his ears.
Right.
Yeah.
And he's like beating, like he's hitting like parked cars with a stick. You know what I
Right.
mean? And so,
Right.
and trying to get their car alarms to go off.
Yeah.
And I was like, I just for a moment there, my least good self thought, is having like people who only have daughters, is that even parenthood?
Yeah. It's a different situation.
Is it? And then I know it gets harder later, and for sons it gets easier later.
So they say.
So they say, but in any case,
Yeah.
I am like deep in the Ted offensive of parenthood right now,
Yeah,
and
I
I
get it.
started to be like, wow, that is very different.
Yeah.
To have this like helpful, and Brian I was talking to Brian, and he was like, oh yeah, daughters, because he is one of each. You have one of each. He was like, yeah, my daughter would be like, oh sorry,
Not anymore.
Oh,
I have
let
a
me
child
let
and
me walk
a
that
son
back.
and a child.
A son and a child. I
Yes.
apologize. That was
That's okay.
insensitive of me.
That's okay. We got to talk about that at some point on the air.
We must.
Yes, but keep
We
going.
dedicate a very special episode.
Okay, good idea.
And so, and Brian was like, yeah, my daughter would just perceive I'm too busy right now, so she would just go and develop a new hobby in her in her room all day and come
Wow.
out and be like, look at this project I made at the
Yeah.
end of the day. You know what I mean?
But that's also, I feel like that's also, it's so dependent upon people. Like some people can just do that, and just like have that relationship with their children. I feel like I've always been too engaged, and even like I'm too engaged, but I'm also giving off the signals that I don't want to be engaged. Like I'm a weird parent where I'm like, maybe I'm just like actually not being clear enough, and that's why like I have weird boundaries with my kids that like I'm just like I invite it, but I'm also at the same, but then when it comes I'm just like, oh, I don't want to do this. You know what I mean?
I know
like
exactly what you mean.
yeah, it's like, I mean, the stories you tell me about Emily, she's just like, we're not doing that right now. And Oscar's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like I have a boundary.
Right.
And you're just like,
And he's like relieved.
you're like, hey buddy, let's hang out. And then he like wants to hang out and you're like, nah.
Right. And I'm like, I'll have to do this, but
Yeah.
do I have to do this?
Right.
Yeah.
No, can we be done playing Legos now?
Right. Over the weekend, we did something very wholesome. He and I invented a board game.
Oh.
And then it was over, and then he like wanted to do something else, and I was like, dude, I'm cooked. I gotta
Yeah,
go look
you
at a
did
screen or
everything
something.
you could do.
You just got like 3 hours of
Yeah.
like full on engagement, and and he was like, now what are we gonna do next? And I was like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, I've actually been drawing with Eli.
Oh.
I started my doctor told me that like a good stress relieving thing. He said if you draw for like a half an hour a day, like then that like it like shuts down the part of your brain that's always going. Like drawing is actually a good meditative thing to do.
Have you tried turning something upside down so you can draw it?
Oh, that's interesting. No.
I used to do this with a Berenstain Bears book that we have.
Okay.
Because I love the art in
Oh, that's
Berenstain
fun.
Bears. And if you turn it, I can't draw at all.
Uh-huh.
However, if you turn the thing that you're drawing upside down,
Yeah.
you can copy it perfectly.
Ooh, wow.
Like
that's interesting.
perfectly. And then you turn your thing upside right and you're like, holy shit.
Oh, wow. I love it.
I don't know why
sounds fun.
that works, but it works. And then you'll impress your kid. You know, you'll be like, look at this. It even's cross-hatching and everything.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's move on to our final segment.
Before we do, I want to walk back the fact that having just a daughter is not parenthood. Everybody, I am sorry I said that. I am very impressed with people who have
No,
daughters.
all children are miserable. Yeah. There's no.
The amount of worrying. I did want to ask this one thing. The amount of worrying that I would do over a daughter. I worry plenty over having a son, but the amount of worrying, just because the world is the world, I would be doing over a daughter would end me.
That's interesting.
And I really salute people who have daughters for that reason. Like the nerve rack.
Well,
factor.
Hazel is opting out.
Oh, so there you go. Okay, well.
No. Easier. It's easier.
Bullet dodged for Jeff.
Exactly. I got no. They're just like I'm not.
You can't even relate to the topic.
No, I'm not even. Hazel's like I'm not even going to be any of these options anymore.
That's pretty exciting when people like gender's a spectrum.
I don't get it. We'll talk about it later. I mean, I do get it. I love Hazel. It's a long thing.
It's a long thing, and you're a 40-whatever-year-old man.
I just
you
don't
grew
get
up on a completely
what's happening in
different,
the world anymore.
You grew up on a completely different planet.
A completely different planet.
Planet.
This planet,
It's like a
this planet
planetary
didn't
thing.
exist until like 5 years ago. I
Exactly.
mean, it's always existed, but like it hasn't been like a cultural phenomenon that we've been like addressing as a culture, right? It's brand new, pretty much.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it another time. Let's
Okay,
get into
in a very special episode.
fatherly advice.
Fatherly advice.
Yes.
Help me, Daddy. Fatherly advice. Help me, Daddy. Fatherly advice.
Jeffrey, I feel like I've been talking your ear off. I'd love to know what your fatherly advice is.
Well, first of all, I just flipped open my thing.
Oh,
my-
we're not doing fatherly advice.
Oh no, we are doing, aren't we?
I have
Oh, Spike Club. We have Spike Club. Sorry.
Spike Club.
Yeah, so it's not going to be that much fun. But I just flipped open to get to my fatherly advice. I just flipped open my phone, and you see your alerts the second that you open up your phone.
Because it's a slot machine, and they want it that way.
Yes, exactly. And my alert, the top alert on was from Next Door, and it said "crying kitten stuck in tree," and that feels very wholesome compared to what you generally see on Next Door.
Yeah, it's
Like
that's
horrible
usually like
shit show, like
fucking frat boys throwing furniture off roof.
no, or like dark faced man in hoodie.
Oh Jesus Christ!
Looking at packages.
Oh,
You know, like that's it. Like
And it's like,
it's never like
humans.
black man. It's always like dark faced or
What the
something like
fuck
that.
does that
Like you're
mean?
trying to
Oh.
find some kind of
and it's the
euphemism.
guy who owns the like shipping store.
yeah,
who's
right.
standing there,
Exactly.
and it's cold, so he's just hood up,
or
and
the
like-
Amazon delivery guy who
Yeah.
just like is dropping
and they're
them
like,
off.
"This is suspicious."
Okay, my Spike Club this week, and Brendan, this might not sit well with you because I feel like this may refer to you.
oh, spicy!
I'm sorry.
Jeffrey's bringing the spice. He's a spice trader.
Listen, honey. This week we're gonna be done with talking bullshit, and we're gonna get into what's real. Okay.
Are you
Okay, you and
True
me.
story?
No, it sort of piggybacks on my thing a couple of weeks ago where my Spike Club was competence. My Spike Club is self-improvement. It's just like the culture of self-improvement that like, and I say I feel like you are the king of self-improvement.
Thank you.
Always striving to
Am I
improve
any
yourself.
different than when we met?
Yeah, you are. You're quite different. I mean, you're still the same asshole, but but you look better.
Oh,
you
thanks.
look good.
Thank
you
you.
look
Thank
great,
you.
Brendan. You can pull off that Regal Beagle shirt that you're wearing. No, it's the pressure from society, and like I think it's way stronger probably in the big cities. It's stronger in New York and LA and every place I've lived as an adult. Is just that, like, people are just doing like amazing things everywhere you turn, and like they're just like making themselves better, and they just look good, and they like they squeeze every second out of the day.
Yes. And they're on that Pilates Cadillac.
Yes, and they're just always doing something to improve themselves. They're like, exercising or taking a class that's like fascinating, or like working on some project that's going to get them to the next level. And I'm fucking done with it, man. At 46, I'm just like, can't I just be like, it's fine. Like, improve a thing. Be like, I'm going to meditate. That's fine. That's fine. Get a little bit better. Like, don't just like be a slovenly oaf for the rest of your life. But like it's so like intimidating to me, like how many ways everywhere you turn, you are like not doing good enough.
Yeah, that's really true.
I just want to live in a world where it's good enough to just be me, to just like make it through the day. You know what I mean?
And what if you took some of that improvement energy and put it towards like a nature trail near your house?
Sure.
So that always has like garbage, but it's not of you though.
Yeah, but it's still like you're doing something selfless
that is enriching you.
No, just like fucking sit and like look at the wall. Or just like take a really nice long shit. That's self-improvement.
I do that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. It's like I think it's just like the like in this Mad Men era, I feel like you'd come home from work and you'd just like drown your sorrows in liquor and like sit there and read the paper and smoke a pipe and like indulge. And like that was what being an adult used to mean.
Yes.
And now it's like you're maximizing every second, and you're making yourself better. Like you would like sitting, smoking a pipe and reading a paper. Like that's who's doing that?
Right. This is all...
There's like something wrong with you if you're sitting around and smoking a pipe and reading a paper, but that's what I want to be. I want to be doing that.
Yeah, 2 weekends ago, I sat...
Drinking a scotch.
Oh, exactly. I sat in our front yard at the table, and I read the Sunday paper.
I'd say that's lovely.
Awesome.
That's lovely.
And Oscar was, I don't know, was doing something in the house. Emily was out of town, and I just sat there for a delicious hour and a half. And I cover to cover, I read the New York Times.
Yeah.
It was great.
There's just no yardstick by which like you're never settled.
Right.
This feeling of constant unsettlement in the modern era is like hard for me to wrap my head around. Like, I just want to feel good. I just want to feel like I'm okay.
And it presents the idea of society as that of a video game. Like,
sure, you're always leveling up,
like that fucking hashtag level up,
right?
Which is like, shut up.
Yeah. It's just I don't.
As if you gain enough XP,
right?
Then the next time you go to the weapons store, you can get a fucking magic wand or whatever. And now I got a promotion, but that isn't
now
how
you can fight bigger Pokemon if you want to.
Exactly. But when in fact, the only thing that ever has mattered is fucking who you know.
Sure.
What your Rolodex is all about.
And you're going to die. Like, it's not even like...
Skills. No one has skills. The higher... You walk around the fucking... the executive suite... the C-suites.
C-suite, that's
of major corporations.
Yeah.
Those people are like taking a power strip and plugging it into itself.
Oh, yeah.
And they're fucking buttering toast on the wrong... like on the butt end of the toast. Like, they are fucking idiots.
You're saying they're semi-retarded, these men.
They're 100% retarded.
They look great, and they have a full head of hair at age 70.
Right, and they're nice and thin, and they're like, just get back and playing tennis.
Ted Baxter. They're all Ted Baxter.
They're all Ted Baxter.
Yeah. Cosmic Cow.
God, I fucking love that guy. And so, therefore, self-improvement, do it all you want so you can have like some skill at a party or whatever. But
yeah, but you feel like not to point a finger at you, but
do it.
You feel like it's you like self-improvement. You like that.
It's not that I like it. It's that I'm going to die someday.
Well, see that there you go. But that's like you're still gonna die someday,
Right. So
like,
why not smoke a pipe and
or
read
just
the paper?
Just find your level. Like I'm okay with self improvement. It's the relentlessness of it. It's like that's the only option is like to get better, like more,
Better, stronger, faster.
longer. Yes, exactly. It feels very like. I feel like I do feel like I'm in a video game that I'm like competing, like I'm running a marathon against everyone around me, and I just like I want to feel good to be able to just like be a sloth sometimes, or just like you know, like don't you feel like literally every day I like start the day out and I'm looking at the time like going in front of me for the rest of the day, and like I've got a certain number of hours that are dedicated to things, and then I have a free hours, and like I'm anxious about what I have to be doing during those free hours in order to like move forward as a human. Like I just want to be like, okay, I'm done. Now I can just not think about things.
Right. And work, love, and play
Yeah.
are the should always be in balance.
Okay.
Thirds. There should be a third of your life.
I like
love,
it.
aka family.
Yeah.
Work.
Yeah.
And play.
Okay.
If they're not in balance, you become a fucked up human being.
You think so?
I do suffer from this quite a bit. It is relentless, and I can't stop. And I wonder if have you ever been to the Midwest, Jeff?
No, a couple of times. I know of it.
You're a Midwesterner.
I generally fly over it.
Well, that's what it's for.
Yeah.
As a Midwesterner, you are. So I've met a number of Midwesterners.
Okay.
You are.
What's your take on us?
Here's my take on you.
Yeah.
You people.
Yeah.
They're in the Midwest. There is a major pressure to feel
To
content.
leave the Midwest.
To leave the Midwest.
Yes. You're right. I felt that.
But contentment. Like
Yeah.
when I've been at weddings that are like heavily Midwestern, and you have a conversation, they're like, "Yeah, I live in Sioux Falls, and I've got I got Target right down the street in one direction. I got Big Willie's down the street in the other. I got everything I need."
That is true, but it's also like a defensive mechanism that we put on against big city folk like
Really?
yourself. Oh, like we're like, why would I ever want to leave the Midwest? Like, you know, it's like you. There's something wrong with you. It's a way of like, Brendan, you are bad because you live in a big city. Like,
Oh, interesting.
there's definitely a provincialism.
I prefer provincial.
Provincialism.
Well, but when I have met these Midwestern folks,
Okay.
not only have they presented as content, they also seem really content and happy.
Interesting.
Wonderful kids. Everyone's got straight A's, no cavities.
Okay.
Happy marriages.
Right.
Everything's just kind of perfect.
Yeah.
And genuine and like fun, and they're smart and funny.
Oh, well, see,
And
I don't
friendly.
know those people.
Okay.
You're talking to rich Midwesterners.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's the problem. You're fucking Clint Eastwood is over here eating whores divorce. And
Or his divorce. I could have shaken his hand as I prophesied in that letter, and then I fucking didn't because I'm a goddamn pussy. Yeah. And he probably would have shaken my hand and been like, there's your handshake, you fucking pussy.
that would have been self-improvement right there. Yeah.
So, I don't know. So I guess my question for you is,
Yes.
is there, here on the coasts, are
Right.
we allowed to feel content?
Good point.
Or is
we
that
move here to
simply
not
the
feel
province
content.
of the provinces?
We move. That's true. We move here because like we're aching. We're on this quest for something.
Right. We're aspirational. We're on the oil rig.
Yes, we have purposely put ourselves in this position so that we could feel as if we're not reaching our maximum
Right.
all the time.
And you look around in Los Angeles, especially,
Yeah.
like this fucking guy. I walk to school every day with Oscar.
Oh, this
And
guy.
This fucking guy.
This fucking
guy
I
in his
hear
fucking
you
driveway
already.
getting in his fucking
Oh,
Tesla
this-
with
come
those
on.
sweatshirts that are really thin. It's like a
Oh,
sweatshirt,
yes.
but it's just basically a shirt on top
Yeah.
of a shirt because
And it
it's like
costs
sweatshirt material.
$500.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's just perfect. And his fucking shoes are bright colored, and he's like perfect
Yes.
glasses frames. And
Yes.
here's my Tesla, and I'm going to fucking
He's
be a
he's
jerk.
going to an ad agency, definitely,
Yeah.
or some kind of studio. He's going to the studio.
Exactly. He's like
Right.
some sort of like hip executive. I'm
Yeah.
a hipster, but I'm an executive at the same time,
Yeah.
and that's why I live on a hill.
You know what he does when he gets into his office?
What?
He sits down and he grabs a little orange foam ball and he throws it at the basketball net that's like over his door.
Yep.
And
then
that's what he
then
does
it's
for
5.
the first 3 hours.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then some person who's younger than him and did what he did, and it does what he did. Until he was just put in the office when the person died before him,
Right.
tells him, he's like, some person is going to come talk to you for a while, and then you get to decide whether to anoint them or not.
Yeah.
Here they are. Here's your bottle of water. And the person comes in and they're like, they worked on this thing for 17 months on spec. Do you like it? And he's like,
Right.
It doesn't reflect me and my Tesla. Get out.
Tim Robbins and the Players, who were both picturing
Exactly.
right
This
now.
fucking guy. And I said good morning to him. He says good morning to me. And I'm like, good morning.
Reluctantly,
But what I
he
mean
says
is,
good morning to you.
go fuck yourself.
Yes. I hope that Tesla stalls in the middle of the highway as they do.
I'm sure he's very friendly. I'll probably now end up friends with him, and I'll be like, "Listen, man, I'm sorry I told you to go fuck
You've
yourself."
got some fancy
every
friends.
morning.
Come on. But does that like kill you sometimes? I mean, you're a very successful man, Brendan, in many ways.
Really?
No, of course you are. You're crazy successful. We're both crazy successful. But like, we're surrounded by these people who are like crazy successful.
Yeah, uber mensches.
We are
mensches.
succeeding in life. Like over 70% of the population.
Knock on wood.
Is fucking living in poverty. Like we are doing great. We are doing just great, Brendan. We should feel like we are doing just great. Do you want me to stop? Brendan is going around the filthy garage right now and finding every item of wood to knock on.
I'm just gonna keep knocking.
I think I'm upsetting him. I think I just
The gods are always listening, and
Yeah.
if you ever enjoy your life for a second, they're like, "Guess what? Everyone dies now."
It's like fucking motherless Brooklyn in here. Like Brendan's just like about to go fucking ape shit. OCD.
Would you like to hear my
Please.
Spike Club?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Here's my Spike Club, Jeff.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have friends that don't have kids.
Kind of no.
At this point, it's basically impossible to.
Yeah.
Except we have several. And here's my Spike Club. Nothing wrong with those people, but here's what drives me
Those
crazy:
people.
how different our lives are from the people who don't have kids.
Yeah.
Lives.
Very, very,
How
very
different. It's not that they're different, and they're not just that they're really different.
Yeah.
But how much they are different.
Yeah.
Is unbelievable. Discussions about time, discussions about money, discussions about the future, discussions about art
Right.
and commerce, discussions about politics, the way the world's going to end. The context is so fucking different.
Interesting.
It makes me feel like I have a terrible secret.
Oh, wow.
In a way, you know what I mean? Not
Yeah.
that the secret is terrible. The secret is that I'm a parent, and it's not a secret.
Mm-hmm.
But it's large enough to be like I'm Jeffrey Dahmer, actually, and I'm just like having a conversation at the hardware store. But secretly, I kill a bunch of people.
Right.
Like it's
And
that
eat their
large.
faces.
And so, but we have a conversation, and there's just like there's a way in which I can't relate. Jeffrey Dahmer having a conversation at the hardware store.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, there's a giant way he could not relate to the cashier.
Sure.
Because the cashier wasn't also a serial killer.
Yeah.
So like they really didn't have a lot in common.
I like that you're projecting yourself as Jeffrey Dahmer and not the cashier here. Like that's interesting to me. That's,
Because he's the one with the giant secret.
that's the character in the story that you choose to side with. Okay.
So you have to have conversations where you're like, yes, oh, that's totally. Except in your head, you're like, but also there's like these 17 other dimensions that I
Right.
have to constantly be aware of.
Right.
That you will never know about. Not that you wouldn't. I feel like this is gatekeeping again. I'm not gatekeeping. Not that
You're judging
that
a
you
little
don't
bit.
have
You're
to know
judging.
about. That you don't. I don't mean it this way.
But
there's
don't you-
nothing wrong
I
with the
feel it.
dinks.
I
You know what
feel
I mean?
it.
I love all dinks.
Yeah.
But
Double income, no kids.
yeah, thank you.
For those who didn't grow up watching Phil Donahue.
Oh, did that come from the Donahue?
I don't know. It seems like something Phil Donahue would talk about.
I sure grew up watching Donahue.
Oh,
I
my
love
God.
that guy.
A wonderful American hero.
Hero.
Forgotten American hero.
Gave it to Bill O'Reilly on the Bill O'Reilly Factor too.
Oh, I don't know if I saw that.
Gave it to him. It was awesome. Anyway,
Just a mensch.
it was total mensch. So
Donahue and Alda. Come on. Why wasn't that?
what's that?
Donahue and Alan Alda. Like that was our culture.
Yeah.
That was what it meant to be a man for a few years.
Yeah, that's when
Phil
people in
Donahue
New York,
and Alan Alda.
right?
God,
That's right.
what a
Before
wonderful
that,
time.
like I think people realize, like, well, there are all these people in the South that we could also get money from if we represent them somehow
Sure.
too. And then you had to have Elizabeth Hasselbeck on The Voice or whatever. so that she could
know
be
if I
like,
know who that
I'm a
is.
Republican. She was the one who was you know, they always have a token Republican on The View.
Yeah.
I mean The View, not The
The
Voice.
View, not The Voice. Yeah.
Yeah, that didn't make any sense to
Was
anybody.
she on Survivor? Have we watched?
Was she?
She was on something like that.
Any case, she's a big old Republican. And then now they have
Yeah,
like
yeah, I remember
Megan
her.
McCain. Or
Right.
And it's like, oh, did we have to represent life was so much better when people in New York decided culture for everybody.
Okay, fair. Wait, but that was a tangent. Where did that come from?
Alan Alda.
You're upset about
and Phil Donahue.
your Spike Club.
Oh,
is,
yeah, is fucking. I wish it's
This guy
so
and his
different.
Tesla.
Making plans
Yeah.
for Nigel.
For Nigel, yeah.
With
I love that
friends who
you're
are
referencing
dinks.
XTC. Yes.
I love my friends.
Yeah.
But I have so many more X factors I'm managing.
Yes, you have. You're like a beautiful mind. You're like sitting there and you're like looking at like all the permutations are like happening ahead of you.
Yeah.
And then these guys, these dinks, all they're looking at is the straight line, right?
Yeah.
Right down the middle.
They're like, my problem is I can't decide what movie to see at the cinema on
Right.
which night. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm like the football coach, the head coach at the fucking Super Bowl.
Right.
I think Emily's going to be out of town. Oscar could develop an allergy. Et cetera, et cetera.
Sure.
Et cetera.
Because
a
there's no
babysitter.
complications. It's very linear. You can be very like focused. Like the only complication is your partner, and your partner is an adult. And so like the two of you or your dog, you set yourself up in that role where
Yeah.
like suddenly your dog becomes a child. Like
Yep,
that
yep.
happens as well with these people. But like, at the end of the day, they'll fucking euthanize that thing in a minute if it gets in the way of they're fucking, if they can't get a godmother sandwich from whatever, if it gets in their way of
from the Earth Cafe.
yeah, exactly. If they can't get an "I love you" sandwich
Right.
from
Sorry, you've been a Great Dane, but you're going in the dumpster.
exactly. But we got to watch all three of the Back to the Future movies in a row tonight. So sorry.
So we're just going to give you some doggy Benadryl, so you're just not a thing for a while.
Exactly. That's the thing. Like there isn't that extra layer of like you're responsible for your life and death as a human. You're not responsible for your partner's life and death, but you are responsible for your child's life and death.
Right.
So now you have like multiple, I've got two lives and deaths that I'm concerned with, whereas these people only have one.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
That's a heavy fucking weight to
heavy,
have on
man.
your back.
It's heavy.
To like have to concern yourself with someone else's life and death. That's big.
It's exhausting.
Like, Brendan, I love you to death.
Same. Take a bullet for you.
I would not take a bullet for you. That's what I'm getting at.
You're right. That would be irresponsible.
Exactly.
I can only take a bullet for my son.
That's what I'm getting at.
Or
It's
my
like,
wife.
If you died, I would be very sad,
Thanks. Same.
but I'd move on. if my kids died,
I would want you to.
I don't think I'd get over that. Like,
Oh, no,
that's,
me neither.
You know what I mean? That's like
no.
a psychological, the heaviness, the weight
Oh.
that you have to deal with when you have children.
Yeah.
It's different than any other sort of weight that you would deal with
Yeah.
pre-child life, right?
You would find me naked in the Badlands, and I wouldn't even know my own name.
Oh no,
in
yeah,
about
it
a
would
month.
all fall apart. It would all fall apart. Did you
Yeah.
ever see? Oh God, I don't even know if I should mention this
Sweet
on air.
Hereafter?
The most hideous. No, Sweet Hereafter is such a gorgeous movie. But I saw it before I have kids. I don't know
You
if
can
I
only
watch
see it
now.
before you have. You can't
Yeah,
see.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
a fucking horror movie once you
I'm
have kids.
sure it's a horror show, but ultra extra horror show is God. What was that one from a couple of years ago with Casey Affleck where he?
Oh yeah. Oh, I didn't
You
know
know
what I was
what
in
I'm
for.
talking
Yeah,
about?
Manchester by the Sea, which didn't take place in Manchester by the Sea, but the town next to it. But yes. Yeah, that Lonergan. Yeah, I know. If I had known what that fucking movie was going to be about, I wouldn't have watched it.
It's just
Horrendous. Horrendous.
Yeah. I mean, our kids were probably similar ages. Like it was like 2 or something like that. I watched this movie about this guy like getting drunk, which I would do from time to time back
Why not?
then.
Sure.
And like leaving his house and the whole house burns down, and you're just like, "What the? Don't make me watch this!" And then you're just stuck there in the theater for 2 hours. Yeah.
Horrible.
But your friends without kids, they watch that and they're like, what an
touching.
interesting exploration
Very
of
moving.
Yes, the
Touching
human
and moving.
condition.
Yeah, and for us, it's Midsummer.
Yeah.
Basically.
Well,
it's
I
worse than Midsummer.
Love Midsummer. Yeah.
Well, it's great.
But yeah.
But I mean, as horrific as Midsummer.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. More. Yeah. Totally.
Jesus
Next
Christ.
level. So
They
that's
actually do that. So I just one last thing. In Sweden, they do pitch their old people off cliffs.
Oh God, what? I always remember the name of this because
The Ekiklemma? No, that's Greek.
no,
a
Sapolka
wagon.
or something like that, or like it's a polka, sort of like
Circun de Glurgen.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, or rather, they did. It was a tradition in Sweden at a certain point.
That's a wonderful tradition.
It's
that's
on
a lovely.
Wikipedia.
That's a lovely scene. I'm like,
That
oh,
movie.
these old fuckers finally getting out of this life.
Did you see Hereditary, his other movie?
I did. I watched it afterwards.
Yeah, me too.
That's quite horrible too.
Quite horrible. The casting is also totally bizarre.
Who? Toni Collette?
Toni Collette, Gabriel Byrne, and their son, who was
Gabriel Byrne was weird.
and the daughter. Gabriel Byrne, like, what was Gabriel? I think he himself was like, "What the fuck am I doing in this movie?"
yeah, yeah. He's like, I'm barely even a fucking character.
And then I burst into flames.
You put a hat on the bed? What the fuck? No, that was sorry, Drugstore Cowboy.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
I'll give you the hi hat.
It's a hex.
That's what
the
it is.
hi hat.
Yeah,
Get
yeah,
the
yeah.
hi hat.
But
John Polito.
we've completely lost our audience. But
But you have me. I totally followed that whole thing.
Good. See, this is what I want for my wife sometimes. I'm like, just give me the hi hat, you know?
That's, by the way, the best movie ever made.
Miller's Crossing.
Best movie ever made.
It was like for a long time it was my favorite Coen Brothers movie. I don't know if it is now. I haven't watched it in a while, but it is an exquisite movie. No question there.
I saw Gabriel Byrne in a bar once,
I'm dying to see Macbeth.
and I walked up to him.
Joel Coen Macbeth.
Oh, I didn't know that
With
existed.
Denzel Washington
What?
as Macbeth and Frances McDormand.
You keep
as
saying
Lady
that word.
Macbeth.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
Oh, sorry. Oh, come on. Are you in rehearsal on a play right now?
I'm saying as it broke a little girl's arm once.
Scottish
But wait a
play,
second. Is that a film version of the thing?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
What?
What?
Okay, so sorry,
Anyway,
you're in a
walked
bar.
Walked up to Gabriel Byrne. Or I was like, oh my God, I'm already in the group, and he's standing in the group, and we're all meeting each other. I'm gonna meet him.
He was
And
in
so
a group you were in?
I went to the opening of a play that he was starring in.
Every week, Brendan's got these stories.
This was like 5 seconds. I'm standing in this thing.
I saw the guy from Office Space at a restaurant once.
Oh, the guy with the thick glasses, stapler, that guy.
No, that would be amazing. Stephen Root? No, who's the main guy? I forget his name.
No, I also don't remember.
Exactly. That's my celebrity story
As we shook hands
with Gabriel Byrne.
As I shook hands with Gabriel Byrne,
Yeah.
I said to him, "Miller's Crossing is the best movie ever made." Same thing I just told you.
Yeah.
And he said, "Is it?"
Oh.
And that was it. That was our entire relationship.
Well, that's why you didn't talk to fucking. Who did I just? Harry Connick Jr.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, never mind. I shouldn't say it.
Like I've said his name a million times tonight.
Clint Eastwood.
Yes, that's why he didn't talk to Clint Eastwood because,
Right, because he'd be like, "Is it?"
Gabriel Byrne literally gave you the hi hat.
He gave me that, which is very meta.
Yeah.
When you think about it.
Very meta. Yeah, maybe he knew what he was doing.
Yeah, give me the hi hat.
The rest of your life, you'd be thinking he gave me the hi hat.
Yeah.
I think we should leave it there.
We should.
That was lovely, Brendan.
It was lovely. It's nice to see you, Jeff.
It was nice to see you too, and it's nice to like commiserate on all the miseries of life.
There are
with
many
you.
and sundry and legion.
Too many. It is life is legionly miserable.
Legionly so.
Okay.
A biento.
Abiento, I won't see you next week. I have to go to San Francisco.
I've heard of it.
Okay.
Please tell Brian Perkins I say hello.
Good story. So I can't. I have a shoot next week, so I can't.
Oh,
come
look at
back.
this guy.
Exactly.
Going to shoot some shit in some place.
I'm a manager. All right, man.
Good night.
Good night.
There